Hello. Shalom, peoples. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's okay. So, here we go. We are going to investigate the Asian Y chromosomes, which are KLMNOPQRSNT. Very, very interesting. And it also involves the Ashkenazis. So let's just go see if we can find a decent map here somewhere that has all of the sons of Japheth. Okay, so the main thing, my main discovery is that Tiras and Javan were the first ones into Europe as far as the Y chromosome is concerned. And they are probably no longer in existence. They probably are the extinct Neanderthals who are related to, guess, Gomer, who is the father of the Ashkenazis. Now, this would be somewhat controversial and everything, but first, before we do anything, let's go look at the Ashkenazi Y chromosome and see what it consists of. So before anybody starts talking about Ashkenazi Jewish people, let's see what their Y chromosome consists of. Okay. Okay, Ashkenazi Y chromosome images. Okay, here we go. Now, as compared to the Sephardic, you got the Sephardic Jews, you got the Ashkenazi Jews here. Here's the Ashkenazi. Okay, in case anybody, oh, hold on a second, I'm messing up here. Okay, don't mind me. In case anybody, wants to question whether the Ashkenazi Jews are legitimate, we'll just go with that. We see here 48% J, which is both J1 and J2. We see the E1B, which is probably the Canaanites. We see the G, which is the Assyrians. And we also see the T and the Q, which are descendants of Japheth. And the only other one in the area is the R1B and the R1A. So the R1 is the people of the area. The J, of course, is Judaic, Arabic, and Canaanite, and Assyrian. And Assyrians you can't mix up with Syrians. Syrians are Arameans. Assyrians are descended from Asher, but they came from the same general area, so it's Assyrians and Syrians. But anyway, the G is the Assyrians. The E is probably the Canaanites. Of course, that's what Albert Einstein is, E1B, as well as Adolf Hitler. The J, 50% is Abrahamic. Now, that's going to be divided into the J1 and the J2. The J1 is Arabic. The J2, 20% is Judaic. So it's 20% Judaic, which is the largest percent. The E1B here in this case, in this sample, is 19%. The Arabic is 19%. The Y chromosome, which is a larger percentage, is 4%. The G is 10%, and the R is 18% total. And the Q is 5%. So the Q, the T, and the R are descendants of Japheth. The R, I believe, are descendants of Gomer. Okay, Gomer is here, but Gomer went up here as well. Gomer was like the first one to go into the steppe. Scythians went into the steppe. Ashkenaz is the son of Gomer, by the way. So the Ashkenaz, I believe, also moved up in this area as well. But the Ashkenaz is the son of Gomer. So that's the connection that we have with the Jewish people is the Ashkenaz by way of Gomer, who is the brother of the other. Let me see if I can find it. Of Javan and Tiras. So Javan and Tiras are probably the extinct Neanderthals that went up into Europe. Tiras and Javan were in Europe already, and they probably became extinct. Gomer, the father of Ashkenaz, probably is up in this area here, and that's the area where the Jews went, the Ashkenazi Jews. But they only have like a small percentage, 18% of the actual Ashkenaz. But if we do a search on Ashkenazi, and say Neanderthal, which the reason why I showed the pie chart first is so that we won't we won't confuse the fact that they're actually Jewish descendants. So, wait a minute, but there's an article. Let's go to the article. Mysterious origins. There was a modern day Neanderthals, for example, conspiracy. There is a connection, but it's not a strong connection. It's by way of review. It's Gomer, who is the father of Ashkenaz. Gomer is the brother of Tiras and Javan, who were probably the Neanderthals. So that would be the connection, the genetic connection between Ashkenazi Jews and Neanderthals. And of course, if you want to click on this, you'll see the Reddit archive. Okay. The Reddit, let me see, plausible. Let me see. I don't know if this is. I guess they archived. They archived it. It no longer has the picture, I guess. But my phone had the picture. So it's picture of Kissinger. Yeah, he's an Ashkenazi Jew. But they're trying to say he looks like Neanderthal, but I don't know. Doesn't doesn't really ring a bell. But anyway, so we've already established that the Ashkenazi Jews are Jews, definitely Jews, because of the signature of the Assyrians, the Canaanites, and of course the Arabic population that they took with them up into Europe. And the only connection to Ashkenazi would be this R1B1, this T and this Q, which is almost not quite a quarter%, be 10, 8, not quite a quarter of a percent of that would be the only connection to Neanderthals by way of Gomer, who is the brother of Javan and Tiras, who are probably the they're probably the brother, probably the Neanderthals, the Tiras and the Javan are probably the Neanderthals that they dug up in Europe and Spain and everywhere. But again, mitochondrially, Europe is primarily Semitic, even in ancient times. So we have to keep that in mind. So now the Gomer is the father of the Ashkenaz, of course, which we'll just go ahead and identify Gomer as the RY chromosome and the Q. So in relation to let me see here. In relation to, let me see. The Y chromosome. So Gomer, this is of course European. You can tell it's a shorter lineage because it's European, and the Q is basically the same thing as the R. But we'll just go ahead and identify this as Gomer since the Ashkenaz have the RY chromosome primarily in their genome, in their population, I mean. And so we'll go ahead and identify Gomer as being the RY chromosome. That would be Q and R both. So Q went all the way to the Americas, by the way. The American Indians are Q. R are the Europeans. It's the same family tree. And R actually went into Americas the other way around as well. So what do we have left? We have the O and the N's is one tree. We have the T and the L's is another tree. T is an ancient line. See how long that is? T is an ancient line. And the T and the L are the same, almost the same family tree. So we have the T and the L, which exists today. The O exists today. The M seems to be by itself. The S and the K, they seem to be by themselves. So essentially have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people to identify that we can be identified as living today. And There's actually 7 of the other ones, other people. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So it's Madai, Magog, Gomer, Tubal, Meshech, Javan, and Tiras. So we have 6 living today, or 6 possible living today, which would be, let's just go ahead by way of review, is the K is 1, the M and the S, that's 1, 2, 3, the O is 4, the O and the N's, and of course, we have the L. The L and the T. The L and the T, that would be 5. So let's count again. This K is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The L and T is 5. And 6 is the R and the Q, Y chromosomes. So we have 6 family lines to identify here, wherever. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So maybe this one of these are T. Because the T is ancient. The T is ancient. The T, of course, is represented here. And it's represented here, the T and the Q. So one of those could be the T. Okay. Oops. Let me see if we have anybody here. Nobody's here yet? Oh, nobody's here. That's good. It's even better. Don't have to worry about it. Okay, so we have Gomer, Javan, Madai, Meshech and Tubal, and Magog. I can't see. This map is totally wrong. Totally wrong. Let's see. Yeah, because there's only 2 Y chromosomes in this area. I'm saying it's wrong, but it's because there's only 2 Y chromosomes in this area. There's the Semitic J2 and I2 and I1, which is all in this area right here. All through this area right here. And there is the R1, B, R2, R1, and R2, which are in these areas. There are no other main Asian Y chromosomes in Europe. The only Y chromosome in Europe is R. And like I said, with exception T and Q is way over to the other side. So this map is rubbish. Just some guy wanted to put something together to blame somebody of something. So the TY chromosome, we'll have to try to figure out who that was. Maybe it's Tiras. Maybe it's Javan. But we still have Magog, Gomer, and Tubal. Gomer will say is the RY chromosome. Magog, we can say, is the Q, not the Q, the O Y chromosome. And because that's starts out when it talks about Gog Magog, it starts out with the probably the main population, Meshech and Tubal. Gog Magog, Meshech, and Tubal. Gomer is settled in the steppe region up here. He's probably the the RY chromosome. Magog, we'll just assign Magog temporarily as the O and the N Y chromosome. Of course, the N is way up north and the O is way out east, which is the same family tree. So they could have just gone north. Magog could have gone north and became the N, and then the N branched off into the O very early on. Or they just, one went this way, the other one went that way, very early on. So tentatively, we have Gomer as the RY chromosome. We have the R and the Q. And Magog is the O and the N, which is the major population in the world, the biggest population in the world. Then we have Meshech and Tubal. We have to find out who they are, where they went, and Madai and Tiras. So one of these is a T. A T, it's a T and the L. One of these is a T and the L. I don't know if it's this one or this one, because the T and the L are together. And the other ones are going to be hard to identify. We have Meshech, Tubal, Madai, Tiras, and Javan. But anyways, that's about it for identifying the Japheth Y chromosome, where they went. One of these is probably the Neanderthals. One of these is probably the Denisovan, which we don't have the Y chromosome because it was probably a female anyway, and they don't have the Y chromosome. But if they did, it could identify maybe the Madai as the Denisovans, which are related, of course, to the Neanderthals. Of course, because it's the same family, even though it's on the other side of the world, it's still from the same family originally. And of course, we know the Asians, all these Asians, Gomer and Magog, they have the highest percentage of Neanderthal Y chromosome, Neanderthal DNA, autosomal DNA in their populations. And the rest of us Europeans also have Neanderthal DNA because of Gomer, who's the father of Ashkenaz. Which is has the RY chromosome in their population. The R, the Q, and the T, but mostly the R. So we'll just identify Gomer as the RY chromosome. And if the Ashkenazi Jews are related to Neanderthal, it's by way of Gomer, which is the RY chromosome, which explains the relation, of course, of the Denisovans, which is Madai, and Magog would be the O and the NY chromosome. The N is straight north, the O's are east, and it's the largest population in the world. So the other ones, Meshech, Tubal, Madai, and Tiras, will have to be one of these other peoples here. Will have to be one of these other people. Okay, so this is the R and the Q family tree. The O and the N family tree is the largest population in the world. Now the only ones left to identify are the T. The T and the L are the same, look like the same family. The T and the L. The M looks to be by itself. The K looks to be by itself. And the S. If not, they split off a long time ago. So we can say the K and the S are the same family tree, but of course they split off way back in ancient history. So let's say the K and the S are the same family tree. We have the M. That means there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people to identify. The reason why I'm suggesting this is because the K and S are the same family tree originally, way back and broke off from the beginning, which seems to be the case, then that would mean that both Tiras and Javan are extinct Neanderthals in Europe, because they're the first ones to go to Europe. They're the ones that were there in Europe. They're the ones that probably went extinct, and since they went to Europe and not Asia, they're probably extinct. So the Madai, we could say, is possibly let's say the Madai is the K and the S. That means there's the T and the L and the M. We'll just say Meshech and Tubal. Okay. No, Meshech and, let me see who else it was. Meshech. Yeah, Meshech, Tubal. Yeah, say we'll just label the T as Tubal and the M as Meshech, and the Madai we'll say is the S and the K. So there we have it. The Japhethite Y chromosomes all identified. Madai are the Denisovans because they don't have the Y chromosome yet. These are extinct. Their Y chromosome is extinct because they went into Europe, died there, and nobody living today is descended from them. And because Gomer is the RY chromosome in Europe, and because of Ashkenaz has the RY chromosome in it. Ashkenaz is the son of Gomer, so that explains the Y chromosomes of the Japhethite people. So tentatively, we'll just label Tubal as T, Meshech as M, Madai as the K and the S, Magog as the O and the N, Gomer as the R and the Q, and these are the extinct Neanderthal, Javan, and Tiras. So now we wrapped it up. We understand everything, and everything is good. And that's about it. And God bless everybody. Have a nice day. We just figured out the JY chromosome. And I'm an IY chromosome if anybody cares to know. God bless everybody.